What what's going on, PGL? Terry here. We are here. We are live for the. Oh, thanks for the sub, Docker. I guess Brody's me with the 1 month, MB Hawks with the 1 month. This is both your 2 month anniversary, guys. Love to see it in there. Thank you so much. So we're here. It is playoff time for the PGL, and I couldn't be more excited than to kick it off tonight with a little bit of a preview show, some insight into the action, insight into what you guys are going to see here coming up. So let's pull up the bracket here. We're going to take a look at it now. It does need to be reseeded, so don't fret right now. It'll all be fixed, but we just want to show you guys the first round matchups that we're going to see here come playoffs. So the matches we're going to talk about tonight are on the left: the Greyhounds and Sharks, Bears versus the Nukes, Legion of Doom, the Goats, Jungle Kings versus Commandos. The graphics are super nice. Shout out to the Man Funk himself for getting this show up off the ground and right visually. So yeah, we're going to talk about each of these matchups a little bit. We're not going to go into too much detail. And then we are going to be blessed with some interviews. So we've got some GMs here ready and waiting. We've had some people contact some other people. We've got some players that are going to be spoken to as well. And we've got some pretty hard questions for them to answer. We're going to see how they can make out. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to take a look at the first round and the team matchup here for the first matchup. So we're going to see the Greyhounds versus the Sharks. Some stats to go along with this. Obviously, both teams 64 games played. This is the wrong goals for. I forgot to upload the other one. They didn't score 907 goals. It was 368, so I just forgot to switch things around. But you can see the record difference there between the first and the 8th seed team. And the save percentage differences there. So it's a big matchup for the Greyhounds, that's for sure. The Sharks are no slouch. They've definitely turned it around in the later part of the season. That is for sure. We're going to take a look at some of the top players in this series for both teams. So we see on forward for the Greyhounds, Sweet Peach, and we see White Tees for the Sharks. And on the back end, we've got Han and Oak there for the Sharks. And then in the net, we've got Mikey and Gel. So we're actually going to be able to speak to some Sharks representatives here this evening. I don't think we have the Greyhounds here quite yet. But we do have Mackie with us, who's going to give us a little chat, a little insight on the Sharks, what they're thinking about this playoff series, and what he thinks is going to be next for them. So, Mackie, how are you doing?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Oh, it's going. How are you feeling tonight? How are you feeling about this upcoming series?
It's a tough one, but I think if we hunker down and really rely on each other to make the right plays, I think we'll put up a good fight and maybe even surprise some people.
That's awesome. I love to see it. Now, I do have a question for you there, Maggie. Now, playoffs are quite emotionally taxing. That's for sure, especially in the online community here with NHL. How do you support, your fellow players on ice to maintain, a dialed-in mentality, a focused mentality?
On the ice, personally, just make the big saves when they're absolutely crucial, and just do our best to lean on each other, cover for each other. Nobody plays a perfect game, but the best that we can do is lean on each other and see where it leads us.
I love that. Camaraderie and sportsmanship and teamwork are all huge things that go into winning a game. We see here the spotlighted player for the Sharks is going to be White Tees. He's definitely one that you've got to look out for the Sharks as well. Mackie, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for chatting with us here for a little bit, and we look forward to seeing you on the ice, my friend.
Have a good night, fellas. Good luck to everybody.
Thanks a lot, man. So we don't quite have the representatives from the Greyhounds yet here. I know there's a lot of stuff going on with the top, the top place team in the league. They're probably busy drawing up plans, but we're going to get over to their spotlighted player as well. And I mean, that's obviously going to be Sweet Peach. Absolutely running through the statistics this season for the Greyhound and leading the Greyhounds in points. It's nice to see we got a couple Greyhounds in the chat, that's for sure. Would love to know how you guys are feeling prior to this season. Goodness. So we've gone to the Sharks, we've gone to the Greyhounds. Let's get into the next matchup here that we're going to see, folks. And that's going to be the Legion of Doom versus the Goats. Okay, the Goats surprised a few people last week, pulling out some late victories on primetime, on stream. They were able to come out with the W and secure that 7th spot in the league. So just jumped up over the Sharks by 1 point to put them in 7th. So they're going to go up against this Legion of Doom team, which, I mean, is scary. Any night they can be scary, backed by their GM Tuna, the stud on the blue line, Like a Boss, and then everybody else just rounds out that roster. It makes a fantastic late addition in Joggy, bringing him back. That chemistry is definitely something to look forward to, that's for sure. So we see here games played record, goals for 304 to 239. The Legion of Doom being one of the higher scoring teams in the league next to the Greyhounds and the Bears. And then you can see that save percentage there. So the netminders are doing their thing for the Legion of Doom. We're going to take a look at the top players in this series. So right away, you've got 220-point players here for the Legion of Doom and Like a Boss and big old Charlie Tuna. 120 points for Tuna, 126 for Like a Boss, and then Ghost Reaper back there, 782 save percentage. Look at the shots and the saves. He's insane. He's been one of my favorite keepers in the PGL since season 1. And then over on the Goats, we've got Loudworm, we've got the Nim, and we've got Kraut there as well. These guys are doing great things for the Goats. Like I said, they made a little bit of a turnaround at the end of the season. So it's going to be cool to see them this playoffs. So we actually do have both the GM and the spotlighted player here for the Legion of Doom. So we're going to get both these guys in, and we're going to hit them with these hard questions. So Tuna and Like a Boss, it's fantastic to have you guys here. How are you doing?
Great. Thanks for having us.
Hey, no problem.
What's up, man?
Hey, thanks for coming on, guys. So I guess we'll start with the GM first here, Tuna. I'm going to pick your brain here a little bit, but how is it that you plan to approach your line rotations and line combinations to maximize your existing chemistry with some of these players this playoff series?
Yeah, it's a good question. We were actually talking about it today, going over lines and availability, and we have a lot of good players to kind of fit here, and I think the lineups that we made are going to be successful. It really helps having 2 solid goalies. I mean, that's basically the best thing that we had this season, just 2 solid goalies that could be starters on any team. It makes the lineup for both sides, whatever game you want to put in, just so easy to make.
Yeah, chemistry really is a big thing, especially in threes. And if you've got a good solid base of chemistry there, and you can play well together, it does make it tough for some of these other teams. Now, Boss, over to you, being the spotlighted player and having some playoff experience. That experience is often invaluable. So how do you leverage your past playoff experience to guide and motivate your teammates through the season 3 playoffs?
Oh, well, I essentially tell them just play your game. Simple as that. You're on this team for a reason, and it's to win a championship, and that's why we have you. And trust your teammates, trust your goalie. I trust my forwards and my goalie. Just do what you got to do.
And that, you speak true there. Whoa, Kins with the gifted sub. Thanks for that, buddy. Dirty Dangles, if you're in the chat, man, make sure you show some love to Kins there. Yeah, like I was saying, especially as a goalie, if you're able to trust your defensemen and trust your forwards, you tend to settle in a little bit more. You can get dialed in a little bit more as well. So having somebody like, yourself and Tuna out in front of a netminder, really brings the calm to the rough waters. So I appreciate you guys both. Thanks for stepping in and having this chat with us. And we look forward to seeing you guys on the ice.
Thank you.
No
Thanks,
problem.
Terry. Good luck to everybody. Let's have a fun playoffs.
So we're going to jump right in to the GOAT side as well. We're lucky enough to have the GM, the new GM, Kydell, and the GM, not the GM, the spotlighted player, Worm, here in the chat with us. So Kydell and Worm, what's going on?
Yo.
What's up, boss?
Oh, not much here, guys. Just getting through the evening. So I've got here some questions for you, gentlemen. We're going to start with the GM and Kydell. Now, we know that real life happens and player availability can somehow, sometimes, change. It can go up and down and stuff. So how can player ability, impact this series significantly? And can you give us some insight onto how available the team is right now for you?
Yeah, and I think you guys have seen the effects of it all season long, even well before I even got the game. When people don't sign up, they obviously don't play together. No chem gets built. People don't know how to play with each other. And that results in losses, and sometimes a win and then more losses. As far as playoffs go, I think we're kind of at our breaking point, I think. Like you said, people got real life stuff going on. Obviously, there's been a lot of internal strife with our team. Some people got themselves uninvolved. So, not sure how our lineups are going to be looking, if they're even going to be anything to look at. But I will say this. The guys like Worm, the guys like Nim who have showed up all season, they're the kind of dudes that make me want to step in as a GM and help a team in need of assistance. Even through all the strife, all the losses, Worm, Nim, those guys were always positive, still signing up, still going into the games, trying to get dubs. And that's all you can really ask for in a situation like the GOATs have been in, Two unsuccessful GMs. I always talked shit and said that I wasn't ever going to GM again. And then here I am GMing this team. So, yeah, it's rough not having availability. It's very hard to build a successful team around that, but you always do have those kind of shining light guys that can help out with that. So you take it with a grain of salt.
Nice. And I mean, this leads, right into what I want to ask you, Worm, as the spotlighted player for the GOATs. I mean, availability and the playoffs can be they can be demanding mentally, that's for sure. So to ensure peak positivity with the Mountain Goats, and what are you changing in your attitude to bring that out, the positivity out of your teammates, and how do you plan to recover between games, maybe after a tough loss or after a big win?
I think he's muted.
Are you there, buddy? Are you there, Worm?
Oh, my fault. My fault. I was muted. Yeah, it is mentally demanding. I just try to tell everybody, play it like it's your last and always show up. I mean, a lot of people don't show up, but the people that do, thank you for that. It is demanding. I don't know. I just try to pick everybody up. I don't try to tell them what to do. I just try to pick everybody up when they lose or whatever. If we have a bad game.
Yeah, so definitely being that reassuring, voice.
Yeah.
To the fellers out there. And
Kydell has picked me up too. I mean, holy crap, he's been great. So, and it's hockey too. So,
well, it's good to be surrounded by a good group of players and people. That's for sure. So, we look forward to you guys out on the ice. We look forward to seeing the Goats, showcase some of that talent that they have over there. And we hope that you guys have a good game and have a good series. So thanks a lot for taking the time to speak with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you, Terry. Good luck, guys.
Thank you. Good luck.
So, folks, we're moving right along here with the preview show. So the next game that we're going to see is probably, for me, the most anticipated. Excuse me. My goodness. Okay, we got some catching up to do. Community sub from Kins. We got bits from Flynn. We got another community sub going to Shank from Kins. So make sure if you're in chat there, Shank, you give Kins a high five. So sorry, this is probably my most anticipated series. The series that I'm most excited to see is definitely going to be 5,000 bits. Holy jeez. Thanks for that, buddy. Thanks for that, Flynn. Good looking out. Sorry, so back to what I was saying. The Bears and the Nukes. I think this is going to definitely be one of those series where, there's a little bit of animosity between these two squads, if you ask me. There's always some playful banter, some bickering going back and forth. But let's take a look at what separates these teams, okay? Obviously, the win-loss record, the Nukes definitely turned things around once T-Bear took over there, changed the team, changed the face, changed basically everything, brand new attitude, and those players really jumped in his backpack and rode the T-Bear train to the first round of this playoffs. So we're also going to take a look here at the top performing players for each squad. Okay, so we see Mowski, Cheer, and Yo-Yo for the Black Bears. 140 plus points for Mowski and Cheer. Cheer right at 140 on the nose. And Mowski, doing his thing again, second season in a row for him to hit, this 120 plus point mark. Speaks volumes to what kind of player he is. And then over on the other side, you look at T-Bear. What else can you say? 148 points. He hit his stride towards the second half of the season. Really, really turned it up for the Nukes. Like I said, really just kind of carried the guys. You see Gilles Dubois over there as well, 75 points. And then Dan, the Rocket Man, who is an absolute stud in net. I always have. He's a thorn in my side whenever I'm on the ice against him because he's super hard to score on. But tonight, we've got a few of them here ready to chat with us. So we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna talk to Mowski and we're gonna talk to Cheer. Cheer being the spotlighted player for the Bears. So guys, how are you guys doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm not doing too bad, man. Thanks for asking. Thank you for asking. Mowski, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So as always, I'm going to pick the GM's brain here first. Mowski, at playoffs, depth and specialization. We talk about this a lot so far tonight. With availability and how deep your roster and chemistry is. How confident are you in your team's depth? And are there any specific roles or positions you feel are crucial for you guys to take this series over the Nukes?
Oh man, I want to say depth plays a massive role in playoffs. You can't just run one line and expect to win. So it's like you got to be able to trust your other guys, and I think chem's a really big thing, especially come playoff time. And I think that's what we really stratted for this season with the Bears was building that chem. Like the last 3 weeks, I think we were running the same lines every night, trying to build that chem for playoff time and see what works and what doesn't work and work at all the little kinks before the real important games happen. So it's like, it is a big thing. I think I've kind of tried to build, me, Snake, and Denny have kind of tried to build this team around chemistry, as you guys have probably seen with some of the mid-season trades, bringing in Thaler and Bohr, two guys from the Goats who've played together, and obviously Thaler working in there with Cheer and Kieran Nuttis kind of helps out too. So it's like that's kind of what I was driving for the season, was to have that chem, because chem goes a long way in the playoffs. Same with goaltending. That's another big thing too, is to have goaltending can take you deep in the playoffs, and I think that'll be the most important position for us come playoff time, because our 3 goal like having 2 goalies is great. Having 3 amazing goalies, like, you couldn't ask for anything better, really. So it's just like you got to roll with who's hot, and
Yeah.
I think having 3 amazing goalies kind of just like gives me options, really. It's like
Absolutely.
whoever's on their team.
And shout out to Boer too. You know, he wasn't on the top players
man.
there, but what a solid goalie, somebody that you can really rely on.
Yeah.
And to have, you know, a 3-headed beast back there in net is
Yeah,
beneficial.
Board came into the Bears with like a 12 goals against average and like a 55 save percentage, and he finished the season with like a 70 save percentage and a 5 goals against average. So that really speaks volumes as to how good he really is once he has like some players in front of him that play really good team defense and where he can trust them a lot more. So it's like it just shows how good Boer really is.
So and right through that, we're going right over to you, my man. Cheer up, ladies. He is here. So where we just spoke to Mowski about chemistry, so that dynamic is so crucial in the playoffs. So how, as a player out there, as a leader, how do you really foster that sense of unity and camaraderie amongst your teammates?
Right. Like you were saying, it's really important in the playoffs to have the chemistry. So, like during the season, either whether you're playing with your teammates or just like busting balls in the chat, you know, like I kind of compare it to real life. Like you might hang out with some teammates more than others, but like everyone's your teammates, right? Like you all have each other's back. So
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's especially in the playoffs when things get tight and it's not going your way. You really gotta rely on chemistry, because it's easy to say you have good chemistry when everything's going well, but when things get tough, you really gotta lean on it.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said that better myself. When the chips are down, you got to really look at who's around, right? And if those guys are guys that you've got, you know, you gel with, then it makes it easier to get out of that sludge. That's a good point.
No doubt.
So once again, Mowski and Cheer, thank you so much, guys, for taking the time out of your night to come over here and do this with me.
Yeah, of course, man. Happy to
My
come
pleasure,
on
man.
and give you some insight. But just to add to that, you talking about that T-Bear train, I feel like it's going to come to a halt. It's not going past the first round.
Oh
So,
my goodness! Well, you know what's great is we might as well get you to stay here, because we're going to hear from the man, the myth, the legend himself here in quite a second. So we've also got a request. We're going to have. I hate to do it to you, T-Bear, but we're gonna have a question from the audience. Okay, so let's get right to it. We're gonna bring in the spotlighted player, and the GM of the Newport Nukes, T-Bear and Dan the Rocket Mans. Guys, how are you doing?
Good.
What's up?
Well, you know, not much. I just excited to ask you guys some questions. And I'm just talking to Peach here too, trying to get him back in. So, but you know, we'll ask you here, T-Bear. You might have to turn yourself up a little bit.
Yeah.
So, in terms of prep, T-Bear, what specific aspects of the upcoming opponent's play style have you identified as like focal points to focus on?
Speed. They run on speed and quick passes. I mean, Mowski runs a fast build. Cheer runs a fast build. You got the Michigan Guru. He runs the fastest build in the game. So, I mean, it's definitely a speedy team. Quick passes, move the puck. They play well with each other. I mean, Cheer Nuttis played. That's how I met them, playing with them in Trash Pandas freaking almost a year ago. So No, they all play together, so that should be a solid line for them. And then whoever else they can throw out there, I mean, they're number 3 for a reason, obviously.
Yeah, they really are. And so the question from the community, T-Bears, how do you recover from sitting in the rearview mirror of the Jungle Queens since week 1?
It's not really. I mean, when I got an Orphan Annie team and I don't get to handpick my team, I think we put together a team that's going to compete in playoffs at least this season.
I really do think you're right. I think that the nukes are definitely on the verge of exploding. Pardon the pun, but that's why I think this series is going to be so tough. Not only to watch for excitement, but I mean just in terms of the players and the nerves and stuff. I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Hold on, I got some catching up to do here. Holy jeez, the gifted subs, the bits. I gotta have you on here more often, T-Bear. Everybody just loves to hear that silky smooth voice.
Yeah.
So I'll come right to you here, Dan. So when it comes to these Bears, we know that a lot of those players can play a 200-foot game. They can play offense well. They can play defense well. So how do you prepare for potential defensive strategies aimed at limiting your team's offensive impact?
Yeah, well, first of all, Terry, I'd like to say that love your show. Happy to be here. Great thing for the community. It's awesome. So I'm super happy to be here. What I'm about to say is going to be a bit controversial, though. So I'm going to go a bit of a different direction. So honestly, they may as well throw out the study. They can study all they want. We're going to come at them with some new formations, some different setups. We're going to have a whole new backwards team skating play. It's going to be wild. You've seen this team and how they conduct themselves, always mouthing other teams off, causing problems in the community. They're the team that everyone just wants to see lose. Even the team name, Black Bears, they're a scavenging animal. It's a bunch of scavengers on this team with tons of puck luck. To be honest, I've looked at the roster and with a big question mark as to how they got this far. I see Cheer Up Ladies with 76 goals, but those numbers aren't right. It's sus. And Denny, stick to bike pedaling. Moski was clearly drunk when he drafted this team. They'll have to come at us correct, not to get embarrassed out of this series.
Oh my.
Am I allowed to defend myself here?
They must have amnesia. They forgot that I'm here.
Yeah, my time was over.
It's let you know what we can see. I don't even know what to. It's hot in here. It's hot in here. God damn, Dan.
Maybe
just the rocket fuel everywhere. I can't wait to see what happens on the ice. I really can't wait to see what happens on the ice. This series is going to be wild. It just got a little bit more heated. It just got more wild. I don't know what else. Moski, what do you have to say, Moski?
Oh, you were debating on it.
What do you have to say?
I like it. The friendly banter is good. I think it adds another extra spark to it. I feel like some of the things that were said might have been a bit out of context, but hey, I'm not gonna sit here and pick apart what he said, but I think it's gonna be a great series. It just adds a little bit of fuel to the fire, makes you want to go out there and actually prove them wrong and win. I was thinking about a little more passive strategy coming into the night, but after hearing some of these interviews and hearing what's had to be said, I think I might go fucking pull full pedal to the metal and just finish it on Wednesday.
Oh, we love to see it and we love to hear it, guys. I can't wait to watch the rest of the talk happen on the ice. Thank you, Dan, Mowski. Cheers already he dipped quick. His agent told him, look, you only got a couple of minutes. Let's get out of here real quick. And, it's a blessing to have you guys here. Thank you so much in taking the time out and chatting with me, guys. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, of course, dude. Happy to be here. Your show's amazing. I love it.
I appreciate
be a part of it.
So we're going to jump right into the next series here, folks. This one is, if you've been around recently, this one is going to be just as hot as the next one. Okay, so we are going to see the Jungle Kings versus the Commandos. This is a series that, you know, when the matchups got revealed, I was like, okay, this is going to be a good series. And then you start to dig into what has actually happened with these two teams. Both teams have had a fantastic season. As you can see, the only difference in the record is really the 2 overtime losses here for the Jungle Kings. Other than that, these teams they're fantastically matched. The only thing is that, I mean, you've got a goalie tandem on the Jungle Kings side that really can steal a series for you. That's for sure. We're going to take a look at the top players in this series. I mean, look at Koala, 155 points. Pasternak coming over from the Legion of Doom for Jockey in that trade with 142 points. And then we see the league leader in saves and shots against in Fedorov. So this team is well complemented by scoring. They're well complemented by goalies. You've got Fedorov and Irish back-to-back. And they also have a stout defenseman on the team as well. Actually, is the featured player for the Jungle Kings. That is Fatty Migo. And we also do have the omnipotent Dean, as I know how to say it now. So I'm gonna get to JB here first. JB is happy to join us here. Can't wait to hear his thoughts and can't wait to pick his brain. JB, how are you doing?
Hey Terry, how we doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic, my friend. I'm having a blast here, and I want to thank you. I'm going to get right into it here, JB, for you. Playoff hockey intensifies emotions. It is intense emotionally. I know we've spoken to a few GMs and a few players about the emotional highs and lows of playoff hockey. So how do you ensure that the Commandos maintain discipline and composure this playoff series?
Okay, Terry. Well, come playoff time, like, I do understand that emotions can run high, but the real key here for me is communication. And I think that's always the key, honestly, no matter what game it is, regular season or playoffs. The Commandos, we're a third period team, and our back's been against the wall plenty of times, but we always come through in the clutch. Like, we don't always get the first one, sometimes not even the second one, but when it comes to the third period, we come out swinging. And that's always through consistent communication.
I mean, communication is key for, not only, hockey games, but, a lot of stuff in life. You really have to communicate with those around you if you want to succeed. And I think, if the Commandos can continue to communicate, I think you guys are going to have a fantastic time. Now, unfortunately, our spotlighted player here for you guys couldn't be here this evening, but I would like to ask you a different question or another question, if you've got some time for it.
Yeah, what you got, Terry?
So, with the emotions, with the communication, it also comes pressure. So how do you manage that pressure, and how do you keep and maintain a focused mindset going into the playoffs, like individually and a team?
It's all about having fun, Terry. It doesn't matter if it's playoffs or regular season. Like, yeah, the stakes are a lot higher, but you never need to forget that it's all about going out there and playing commando hockey. We're going to go out there, we're going to talk, and we're not going to get down on ourselves. You make a bad play, you forget about it, you move on. And that's all through that communication, like stated earlier.
Nice. It seems like you really do have that, solid mind state, and that's going to speak volumes to your team as well when you guys get out there on the ice. I appreciate you, sticking around for that, for the extra question there for Omni. I'm going to jump right into the player spotlight here for the Jungle Kings, and we're gonna have a chat. We're gonna have a chat with the Jungle Kings GM Rokar and their suave defenseman. I can't get enough of this guy, Fatty Migo. So Rokar, Migo, how are you guys doing?
Doing well, brother. Thank you for having us.
Hey, man, absolutely no problem. Rokar, are you there?
Oh, I'm here and I'm ready.
Okay. So let me I like to get at the GMs here first. Give the players some time to adjust. I know that media week is crazy. So have you, or what, can you tell me what strategic adjustments you believe are going to be crucial for your team to succeed against the Commandos?
Strategy wise, I just think we need to get going. I mean, when it comes to our top line, I think our two skaters there, and Koala and Pasternak, are some of the best in the league. And then to back them up, we have two of the best, well, two of the top 5 goalies, in my opinion, in the league. We just need to stick to our roots and get cooking early.
Yeah, no, getting on that heater early is definitely something that you want to do in these playoffs, that's for sure. Migo, I'm going to come right on over to you, my friend. In the playoffs, you guys are, you're often faced with unexpected challenges in these playoffs. So how do you and your teammates plan to adapt to these challenges and these changes that you guys face on the ice?
You're gonna think with my answer here that me and JB are teammates, but I think it's a couple challenges are like matchups. You don't really know, life happens, so you don't know if the lineup that you see on paper is what you're gonna get. But the key to that, the key to overcome these challenges is straight communication. Always talking. If you ask Rokar, if you ask anybody on the Kings, I'm the one that's always yapping away. And I'm a strong and firm believer that communication is the way to go. And like JB said, again, you can think we're teammates. You gotta trust each other. You gotta trust each other. Make a bad play, move on to the next, right? But let me tell you something. If I can stray away from that, your nerves play a huge part into it as well. Especially when you're playing a guy in a team like JB and the Commandos over there. And usually when he scores, he likes to say "Arrow effing plane." Well, I have a feeling that that plane's going to be shut down tomorrow.
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean,
plane's ready to take off, baby.
Oh, he's fueled. He's ready. Everything is ready. This is fantastic. I love. So if you guys are still here, JB, you're still here. Rokar, you're still here. From the Jungle King side, what do you see? How far do you see the series going? What's your call for the series?
You're really putting me on the spot there, Terry.
Immediately on the spot here.
Last season, I made a really, really bad mistake. So I'm gonna say Game 6.
You're gonna say it's going. So Kings in 6 is what you're saying.
Kings in 6, if not 4.
And JB, what are you thinking? Commandos in what?
I was gonna say 6, Terry. Honestly, yeah.
Oh, I mean, 6 games for the caliber of teams that you guys have both put together. You guys have molded into the well-oiled machines that they are. Doesn't sound like a stretch. That's for sure. I could see the series going 7. If I'm being upfront and honest, when both teams are on, they're on. Fetty saying 4 and done, no chance, absolutely no chance. So, I mean, when you've got a confident goalie in between your pipes there, you got to get on board with that. So I want to thank Migo, thank you guys, Rokar, JB, thanks for stepping in. We finally I was finally able to figure out how to get the spotlighted player in here from the Greyhounds. So we're going to be able to speak with the sweetest of Peaches. And we're going to get to him right away. Peach, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, how are you doing this evening, my friend?
I'm doing. How are you?
I'm not doing too bad. Sorry for the confusion there on getting you in.
But no worries.
I'm glad we were able to get you in. We got a lot of Greyhounds here in the chat, my friend. They're definitely rooting for you. So I've got a couple of questions here. I know that the GM or the AGM wasn't able to make it in tonight. So I'm going to pick your brain a little bit here, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
So having the regular season that you did, I mean, you guys were 20 plus points ahead of second place. So how does that regular season performance influence your approach coming into the upcoming playoff series?
Just keep it how we did the whole regular season. Have fun. If you saw our Discord channel or chat, you would think we're a bunch of idiots. We're talking shit to each other. Just keeping it light, fun, and just going out there and having a good time.
And you went ahead and single-handedly ran through the PGL single season goal record. So hats off to you there. And the last question I have for you, it's obviously no doubt you're the team's MVP. I've been in the Discord. Everybody loves you. You know, it's a pleasure to watch you play. So as the team's MVP, how do you plan on maintaining that high level of performance throughout the playoffs?
I wouldn't say MVP. I mean, Atkins deserves it. He put together this squad and helped me, do what I did. Without him and my teammates, I wouldn't be able to do what I did. But going into the playoffs, like I said before, just keep it light, keep playing the same game we've been playing, having fun, doing our thing.
Nice. And I'll ask you one more question before I let you head out of here. Greyhounds and how many?
Oh, we're sweeping everyone. We're not losing one.
Everybody's getting swept. All right, my friend. Well, thank you so much for stopping in. Like I said, apologies getting you in here was a little tough on my end, but it's a pleasure to speak with you. It's been a pleasure to speak with everybody. I know Celebrini's rooting for 4. I know Fedorov is calling a sweep. So there's a lot of confidence here in the PGL in the upcoming playoffs. So I can't wait to see that. And who do we got left here? We got T-Bears left. T-Bear, how many games is it going to take for you guys to beat the Bears? None. There's no answer. That means none. No games.
You can answer for him if you want.
I would love to. I would love to hear you, Dan.
I'm right here.
Oh, let him go.
Sorry, I was on mute.
Oh, okay. Wait, how many games?
We're not sweeping the Bears.
You're not.
But we're going to beat them in 7.
We're going to beat them. So, all right. So Nukes in 7. No sweep coming from the Nukes. But that's fantastic. So
that's not what I was going to say. But
Dan. I want to hear what you got to say.
That's late at night. There's a train that rolls through here about 2:00 every morning, so it ain't stopping. Never stopping.
That's right.
Got freight to move.
I think I have a view. I think we'll do a little bit better than 7. I think, but I'll keep it civil as far as it goes. So we'll go with 5. I think it's going to be 5, but that's just my thought.
Awesome. Well, hey, regardless, it's going to be a ridiculous playoff run for all teams. Mowski's in the chat saying that train's coming to an immediate halt. That's hilarious. And we've got Celebrini calling MVP, and so I haven't been this hyped for playoffs in a while. It's going to be fantastic. You guys are going to want to tune in tomorrow. We got 4 games we're going to cover. And it's going to be fantastic. Once again, I want to thank everybody who took the time to come in and join me, answer some questions that I have, even though if they might have been a little tough. Shout out to everybody for giving fantastic answers. This is a great place to be. If you want to join the PGL, make sure you hit that exclamation mark PGL in the chat. Get that Discord invite there and make sure you join up. But that's it for me. That's it for the playoff preview show. Playoff season 3 for the PGL starting tomorrow. Make sure you guys tune in. We go live 8:00 Eastern, 9:00 Atlantic Standard Time if you're on the East Coast, Canada, like myself. Everybody, as always, have a good night. I'm out.